I'm just giving you a CLI introduction, then we'll discuss about the other topic. Okay, so let's say class. Okay, class map you can give any. So there are two terms again, it's very important. Okay, uh, match all or match any. Okay, so match all logical and. Okay, means I have created a class map. Let's say data, it's a data traffic. Okay, if I'm using let's say it's a match all. Okay, so if I'm using data, let's say I have created access list ACL1. Okay, and same time I'm using HTTP, at same time I'm using telnet. So it is not possible to have both telnet and HTTP in same data packet, right? So my classification will not match any traffic. But if I want to match two things, means you can categorize two things. So ACL is defining a particular subnet, and HTTP means for particular subnet you are matching the HTTP traffic only. So match all means it will match all the criteria whatever you are defining over here. So it within a single packet all criteria should be true. Okay, if anything is mismatching, then it will not be in effect, it will not get effect. Okay, match any. So in condition to define various protocol in same class, let's say, so I'm categorizing only data traffic, let's say HTTP, FTP or telnet. So this is possible. So any access list or this one or this one or this one. So if data traffic is coming from this access list or this one or this one, any one, if it is matching, then this class will be inact. Okay, so any means or match all means it should have the all. So you can use, so by default it will be match all. So if I'm defining let's say class map data, do show run section pipe section class. So you can see here by default it is match all. So you have to define match any data. So you have only two action here which you can do, match or description. Description just to see your comments or to remember what is this for. So description can be anything. So mostly we use match. Now see the match, how many things we can define over here. Access group, your class map means within one class you can match another class. Your cause, it is applicable for trunk link, ISL.1Q. Destination address, discard class, DSCP. Input interface, IP, MPLS. uh, Precedency is also there. Protocol, let's say protocol what we have. So in protocol you can use AppleTalk ARP, BGP, CDP, Citrix, so many more. Okay, so this is called, so whenever you use protocol syntax, that will called n bar. Okay, all right. So let's say one thing I want to describe you, yeah, this one, source address and destination address. So as I told you that this is only for MAC address. You can see here over also source MAC. So when this is applicable, this is very important to understand. So let's say if I'm having a virtual interface, okay, so this is my router, uh, this is one virtual link, this is another virtual link. So let's say it's fast ethernet 0/0.1 0/0.2 physical interfaces. So basically the QoS will be applied on the physical interface, but if you are applying on the physical interface, you will be confused whether it's getting applied on the your this logical interface or this logical interface. All right, maybe if it is connected to some other, so suppose this is R1, this is, so this logical link is connected to R2, this logical link is connected to R3. Okay, so let's say if you want to shape or dedicate any bandwidth for the traffic which is going to R2, okay, that can be done with the help of your destination MAC address. So maybe your destination IP is not always same, it's variable, or maybe it's a huge number of destination IP above here, so maybe it's connected to internet, so it's not possible to add each and every IP of transit router. So this router will work as a transit router. It's just transparently forwarding the traffic towards the servers or any other IP. So it is not always to, it is not feasible to keep updating your policy, basically your class map and policy on this router. But one thing will be stable, that destination address, right? So in layer 2, the destination address will be always the MAC address of this router. So you can use destination MAC address as a classification. Same thing for the source address as well. So suppose here you have a variable server which is coming as a source with the different IP, or maybe only one server is having multiple IP. Okay, so you cannot define the policy for each IP, right? So better to use any traffic which is coming from this source will be always again this one, and you can classify traffic according to that, right? So this is the way you can do it. Access list, you already know, you can match access list in whether it's your standard, extended, and extended will have a lots of information again. So even you can categorize the packet type in the deep way. Policy map, so let's say policy map, again you can use any policy. Let's pmap. Here we have again only one useful information, that is your class. Okay, so class, you can define what is the class you have created. One is by default information, that is your class. Okay, so class, you can define what is the class you have created. One is by default there, class default. So you cannot name any class as class default. So if you are using, see, if you are using DHCP, it is applicable for both IPv4 and IPv6. But if you are using set IP DHCP, it is only for IP. I mean IPv4. Okay, you can see the different, it's by default it is having some value over here. So AF11 is, this is binary value for AF11, so no need to calculate all these things. You can see it here by default. EF bit, it's already there, so everything is defined, but you can use other value as well, right? You can use IP-DSCP presidency, so it will be for IPv4, but if you are using normal DSCP or presidency, you can. So let's say set DSCP AF41. Yeah, that's it. You can do it. Along with that, if you want to prioritize the data, let's say priority percent 100, you can define. But again, if you are giving the priority percent, you can only use 75% of your interface for the QoS. Rest of the traffic will be for control plane data. So if you want 100%, then there will be if it is going for the congestion, then it will be an issue for the control plane traffic as well. But you can use that. So once you have created a policy map, last step, go to the interface 0/0 service policy input type pmap and apply. So this is a simple three-way. Okay, all right.